Hi everyone, I'm Fatimah Benta Gamse, a screenwriter and producer, and you're listening to Sceneful Sundays.
Did Nigeria break your spirit?
Listen, Twitter is not that reliable, but it's the voice of the people sometimes.
You know you're a good doctor if people don't keep dying.
A podcast that highlights storytellers and filmmakers in Nollywood.
Because I don't want anybody to drag me if you see me doing another Lolaro. Just now I was broke.
I go to audition for a project and it's full of these guys from Big Brother. I'm like, I went to drama school now. I have masters in acting now.
Do you have 1 million followers?
Here we talk about everything from career ups and downs to personal gist and all the juicy things that go into the world of storytelling as we know it. Okay, so I have Kayode Kasum with me. Hi Kayode, how are you doing?
I'm feeling good. Finally resting. It's been a tough 2 years. So first time I'm on break and I'm taking it one day at a time.
A tough 2 years. Can you expand?
I think from September 2019, I've been on set almost every day for up until 2021, April 1st week. Yeah.
So your 2020 was quite eventful.
Lockdown. Yeah. I guess everybody went through the finding yourself moment during the lockdown. That only lasted maybe a month, at least for me.
Yeah.
Everybody had this Zen spiritual ideology of how they want to live the rest of their life. That I had that moment too. That changed immediately. Everything went back to like a bit of normalcy.
Do you still have that ideology going?
So because I've not shot for like a month now, I intend to not shoot for another month. I'm having those moments right now. I try not to overthink things and just enjoy it. I'm learning to just enjoy life every single day.
Fair enough. So is this an intentional break?
Yes, very intentional. And it was actually good for me because I took a step back to look at the work I did. And I'm like, okay, Kari, this is like, for lack of a better word, let me say, this is like a level that you have gotten to. So it's a challenge on myself. And also, I think for every creative, there is moments in your life where, I don't know, but I read somewhere where a lot of creatives are not usually satisfied with the work they put out. Yes.
Yes.
So I'm programming myself and learning to do stuff that has been better than my past work.
Nice. So like self-evaluation and reflection. Nice. Yeah. So you're a director, producer, or director and producer?
In Nigeria, the environment in Nigeria kind of programs you to be able to fill in a lot of hats, especially in the film industry, if you have goals and visions of doing certain things. So yes, I don't even know when the producer bit came in, but yes, I am a director and producer.
Okay, so you say you don't know when the producer bit came in. Where did the director bit start from?
I worked as head of production for an advertising agency. I think at the time and still one of the biggest digital advertising agencies in Nigeria, Nucleus and Image and Time. So I always wanted to tell stories. But Nollywood at that time, you could see off social media that there were groups and cliques and people that you had to be friends with. And I wasn't that guy, not because I had a big sense of pride of myself.
Yeah.
No, it was just, I just didn't know how to make friends. And I tried and it was just weird. It was like, you're forcing yourself on people. So I always wanted to make films but I just didn't know how to start. I remember one time I went to look for funding for a film and my uncle at the time says, I thought people that make films actually understudy a big director for like 3 years before you finally say you want to make your own film. I think you should do that. But I didn't know how to do that. So the closest thing to storytelling that I did was working for an advertising agency because I studied about film. I could do it. I shot a couple of small content and I got the job. Did that for 3 years, saved up some money, and I felt like it was time. And the director he came through and I was like, yes, I think I can do this. And I made a film titled Dog Nap that was a flop.
Oh.
And that was how?
That was you.
I became a director. Yeah.
Dog Nap?
Yes, Dog Nap.
So you only directed, you didn't write?
Thank you. I wrote Dog Nap, produced Dog Nap. At the time, I didn't even know that was what producing was.
Okay.
But produced Dog Nap, wrote Dog Nap, and directed Dog Nap, edited Dog Nap. What did I not do on Dog Nap? Graphic design, everything. Sound, music. Yeah.
Okay, so you're calling it a flop. So how did that feel? Your first film, a quote unquote flop.
Yeah. So me dog nap now, I think it saved at the time. I didn't even know I was doing something huge. But because I was more like a do-yourself producer, me dog nap it, which is very impressive by the way. Dog nap was maybe like 2.5 million naira.
Oh,
And
wow.
had like Julius Agu, Spaghetti
Yes.
Adekola, Topetela.
Big
Yeah,
names.
had a couple of big names. So did that. In my head, I wanted to make 50 million. And what Dognap did was he kind of showed that, okay, I guess for me, this is me evaluating what Dognap did. It kind of showed that this guy, you do have maybe small talent, but you have to actually understand how the industry works. So coming into Nollywood, I was like, I want to change the game. I was at
God,
the time, everybody, yeah.
I want to make it different.
But yeah, so it didn't feel the expectations that we had. We never even made, I don't think we made back that 2.5. We made something close to it,
Okay.
but we never really made it back. And I went into depression
Oh, wow.
because it took like maybe a year plus or 2 years to save that money. And yeah, I was really sad, but that was actually one of the best moments of my career. That sadness.
Talk about it. Don't just end it there.
Yeah. I was like, yo, at the time, 3 million could take you to Canada. I'm like, man, I should have just gone to Canada. Like, what's this, man? Save all this money and make this film and it's a flop and people didn't like it because I could see the comments online. It was mixed. I'll say 50-50. Some people were like really impressed at the
I know
effort.
I saw the trailer and I was impressed, but I didn't watch it.
Yeah. So some people were impressed with the effort and a lot of people were not. So I started watching Nigerian films.
So wait, pause. You're not watching. You're not watching Nigerian film. You wanted to change Nollywood.
my guy. So you see how
I love it.
No, actually, I watched it to enjoy, but not like religiously.
Okay.
I was good cinema, and at the time, I think at the time when Dognam came, there were only just a few Nigerian films that would invite you to the cinema. I was like Chief Daddy, King of Boys at that time, Isoken. So I went back to cinema again, and I think it took like 2 weeks of watching every Nigerian film that went to the cinema. Every Nigerian films that Nigerian liked, that Nigerians liked online. I watched and studied, and that's when I got a formula for making Nollywood films.
Did your homework?
Yes, so I did that. I went back again to study film, like went back to film a lot of online courses. And I was like, okay, I think I can do this. And I made my second film, Ogabolaji, which is the reason why I think people know Kayode Kasum today.
Nice, well done. Now, you mentioned Ogabolaji, Dognap, so let's talk about the projects you've done. Some of your projects.
Okay. Sugar Rush, This Lady Called Life.
So Netflix, guys, those 2 films are on Netflix. Go and watch them.
Yes, Can't Believe the Whole 30 Yards, Kwam's Money, Ponzi, shot on Castle and Castle, season 2, a 6 episodes, shot 4 episodes. Yes, I tried slapstick comedy. I did Fate of Alakada.
That was you.
That was me. And I did Dwindle.
Okay, so Dwindle is still coming out.
Yeah, Dwindle's coming out in July.
So are you direct on everything or director, producer?
On Dwindle, yes. So Dwindle is my first co-direction. I'm an executive producer.
Pause. Sorry. How does a co-direction work? Because every time I see the 2 names, I'm like, how?
It's something I was really scared of. So for me, films are experiences, really. I'm not trying to do a film to win people. Yes, I think for every creative, you want to win people's hearts. You want to pass on a message. You want people to see your artwork and love it. But also, for me, the experience in making these films and the people that I meet, it's a bit spiritual for me. So I met Dario Laiton when Ogabolaji was screening in Paris at Nollywood Week Festival. And we had same age and he was making films, but he screened Knockout Blessing and Knockout Blessing was good.
Yeah.
And in terms of production quality, it was good. This is one thing that he doesn't know. So at that time, I had made Ogabolaji because I was the yourself producer director and indie. So the word now would be indie. I just indie producer director who made a film for 4 million that was screening among Moms at War.
Oh, that's big.
King of Boys. Which other film? There were big films at this festival. And I had like the smallest film in terms of budget. And there was this guy that was my age mate that was making films. I think his budget was 43 million. And my budget for my film was 3.5 million. And I was just inspired by the quality of the film.
Mm.
So what Dario won't know is, if he ever gets to hear this, is after watching this film, I was like, nah, I'm tired of playing small game. I want to make films. So if I didn't watch, so he inspired me to take on bigger projects. So just because of that, I just felt like the experience in making Dwindle, if I worked with him, was, I didn't know what it was going to be, but it was something I wanted to try. It was scary because when I'll tell people I'm co-directing a film, I'm
Yeah.
co-producing a film with Dario Lighton, like, how's that going to work? But we got on set. Before we got on set, we had a lot of meetings on the direction we wanted to take. I think the first thing we had to do was kind of us accept that we are going to put our creative egos aside.
Because two of you are completely different from your project.
Yes. And we're going to put, so I had this idea. I already had like 7 drafts of the script. So I just walked up to him and I knew he wasn't working at the time. I was like, dude, let's make a film together. And I was like, okay. And he took the script and put a bit of himself in it. We both had like I'll say a creative trademark in this work. And we just went to set. And on set, we'll just banter off each other. I don't think there was ever a time that we did not like what we shot. We'll just talk about this. He will say this and that would be good. And I'll say, okay, that's good. Let's add this to it. And he's going to be like, yeah, that's great. And definitely directors don't make a film alone. Actors always have their own interpretation too. And the actors still will bring it. And so far, I think we've passed we have a official first cut. And we love it. I think it's a really good film.
Saw the teaser. It's a nice blend of Funke Akindele and Bisola Ayola.
It's actually because I edit most of my films. And I haven't edited Dwindle. So while we were shooting it, I didn't even know how the film would look like. I was really scared. I was like, this is the first film I don't know if it's good or not. But after editing it and he came and we cut it again together, it's really a funny film. It's a funny film I think it's my most complex film yet. Yeah, it's so funny. There's a lot of characters and everybody has a reason why they're in the film, which is, yeah.
Were you in charge of casting?
So most of it was on my side. So Dario will always say, Kayode, you're the producing partner. I'm the writing partner. So yes, but I will always make sure that I run through most of my decisions with him.
Okay.
And also because we co-produce with Film One, and Film One understands the market. Even though they're like a lot of people's villains. They understand the markets and so after we cast, we'll bounce the ideas of Film One. And they'll be like, okay, this person works and this person. Because we set out to make a commercial film.
Okay.
And yeah, I guess did I answer your question?
Yeah, you kind of did. Yes, you did. Okay, so now this is a director question because I've always feared directing. Everyone thinks it's super technical, it's very hard, it looks like heavy work. So my question is, like, what would you say a key skill necessary for directing is?
Patience. Especially in this part of the world where making films is hard. You don't have all the time in the world. Because that's when we make these huge blockbuster films in 14 to 20 days.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I would think like 3 months or so.
No, I think the highest film I've actually been on set for is 16, which is like Crumbs, Money and Sugar Rush. So you make these films in a limited amount of time. You just have to be patient because in that 1 hour that you have on that set, you're thinking of every single thing. You're thinking of the actors, you're thinking of the characters, you're thinking of the lighting, amount of time you have to shoot the scene, the shots you want to use to communicate. So there's a lot of knowledge that you have to be able to apply in a really short duration. And then you have to lead a team. So I'll say one of the key things making in Nigeria will be being patient. Being patient with yourself is actually one of the most, because if the director doesn't know what he's doing, it reflects.
Yeah, because when you
everywhere.
mention patience, I'm laughing inside here because we hear stories of directors that are screaming on set, throwing things at actors, acting like secondary school teachers.
Patience. That's the key to it. So then patience, and just make sure that deep in your heart that if you ask yourself, I think this one should be the key for every director. Ask yourself truly from the bottom of your heart, can I direct this film? I think most of the times, you're not prepared for it. But for different reasons, well, a lot of people just go on set.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think if that question is answered, can I direct this film? And it's yes, that film is going to be fantastic.
That would be very hard for a lot of people to admit, though.
Yes, I think so. There was a film, there's a couple of scripts I've dropped. There was one about a pregnant woman who had child issues. It was a very good script, but even though I've done a lot of female-driven stories, there's no way I can understand that because I've never been close to anybody that's pregnant before. So I didn't want to be on set and fact-checking. Is this how pregnant women hold this? Is this how they do that? It was something and I did not have enough time to research before this production was to be shot. So what I just did was just give my little 2 cents to the producer. I think you need a female director that's given birth before to make this film. I don't know anything about this.
That honesty is actually very important.
Yeah. Because I didn't even know if the scriptwriter researched. Then again, in Nollywood, our audience is basically female.
Yeah.
If you mess that one up,
They're
they will
coming
not
for
forgive
you.
Yes.
Yeah. So, you mentioned directing and producing in Nigeria is hard, which actually is very good because that leads to my next question of some difficulties you face. Because now you said you wear a lot of hats. You're basically the major crew
Nigerian,
member.
yeah.
So, what are difficulties you face on set?
So one difficulty is in Nollywood, you're hiring a crew that's just your crew is tired. They are just living a 14-day or a 30-day set and they have not rested. And they are used to a certain style of filmmaking. So they will
Or
always
style? 'Cause
yes. So when you come in with a different style, different approach, there are two options. One, they like it, or two, your whole crew starts gossiping that the director doesn't know what he's doing.
Oh, God.
So that's why I guess in my 2 months of break and watching every Nollywood film I could watch, we're doing the same thing, same shots, same lighting. Everything is the same, which is why anytime a fresh director comes in and he tries something different, everybody's like, whoa, that guy is fantastic.
The bar is quite low.
Low. No, I'm not going to say the bar is low. She said that.
I said so, but it's not a bad thing. We
It's
just
not that
need to
it's
all
low.
do
It's
better.
I guess it's just a certain style. So one of the challenges will be time because timing, because it's really rare to see productions that there's been pre-production with every member on the
I
team.
doubt people actually have the patience for pre-production these days.
The time. So when you're trying to hire a crew and you're paying, for example, this is not the fee, guys. I'm just giving an example. You're paying 1 million for a certain fee, and that 1 million is supposed to be for 3 weeks for that person. And you're using and definitely for a film, you need a whole 1 month of pre-production. But in Nigeria, over here, and it's not a bad thing, it's because a lot of creators are trying to make film on a small budget. So for that 1 month, they are doing pre-production with your team, you're not paying them. And in their heads, it's like, why are we here? Like, this 1 month, I can use it to look for school fees for my kid.
Yeah.
So you don't have that time and you understand. So even your crew will not be available for pre-production, and you now have to put all the hope and trust on a director that knows what he's doing to on the first days when a lot of team members actually, dude, I'm telling you that in Nigeria, there are team members who don't even read the script.
Even actors.
Yeah, there's some actors.
They don't read the whole
I have
script. They
a
just
film
read their sides and that's it.
Yeah, I have a film that, yes, they're like, oh, is this what happened? You can even hear it. Dude. So it's not, I do not put the blame on anybody. I'm not saying people are not professional.
Yeah.
I understand that we're in a country where times are hard and people are trying to feed, but that's one of the challenges. So since what I do is, it's a challenge. You know, you're working with team members who have not read the script, actors who are clueless, actors that were just hired a day yesterday while they were sleeping. I don't see that as a challenge and say, hey, I'm not working, Nigeria is shit. No, I just see that as an opportunity, knowing my challenges and finding ways to solve it.
Creating solutions.
Yes, so I do have a technique where on every scene, I know where the actors are at emotionally. So I just try to let them know. When I found out my actors has not read their script, I don't make them feel bad about it. It's not that I'm saying it's normal, but the show has to move on. So timing is it's a challenge. Money, finances is a challenge. What else is a challenge? Maybe, yes, you're not working with skilled crew. That's a challenge. Because before you go in to make a film, your lighting team has to have a mood board. I doubt
Mood board?
Yeah, I doubt there are gaffers who even understand what a mood board
Do you
is.
have the patience for that?
Yes, they don't. They're like, dude, I can be making money. Why am I making mood boards? How many films are shot? No, my films are on Netflix. You're asking me for mood board. So all these things are challenges. Skills is challenge. But you always have to find a way to solve it until one day you're on a project that has enough funds to work with the right people. Because the truth is, most films, based off my experience, most films are great because of the director. But but it shouldn't be like that. So imagine if you had a director that was really good and you have team members that are so professional in their work.
Mm-hmm.
That film is going to be massively
Needs to be
good.
good and to reflect.
Yeah, that's one of the challenges. But everybody's trying and we're moving through it. This is not diss at anyone at all.
Okay, so you said no challenge has said, oh, you don't want to work in Nollywood. But I have to ask this question of the moment where you just felt like, I'm not doing again.
Every work with the mates gets challenging. For me, at least, though, I would just say, man, I'm tired of this work. But that's just fatigue. I think if you have accepted a job, finish it. Don't sabotage it and walk away. There's always going to be I'm not doing moments. People are always going to piss you off, but that's part of the job. But I think you should always finish. So answering your question, the I'm not doing moments always happens internally. You make sure you never say it so the crew or the team never gets tired if you're a director and
Yeah.
also a producer, also an actor. So I think as a professional on set, they're always gonna have that I don't want to do moments, but I
Yeah.
don't think that you should sabotage a project by walking away. Moment you have committed to doing it and telling that story, please do. As this is for every professional from crew to cast, because you're going to be letting the whole team down. You'll be letting the story down, and just because film is a whole bunch of people. So if one player is removed, it affects the whole project. So I think as a professional, you should always stay. So I've not had those moments. I've had it internally, but I've not said it externally ever. So yeah, so if I'm taking a project, I always think about it. When I get tired, I have to finish this.
Okay, I think this answer actually goes back to what you said about how my brain just froze. Like I had the
And it
I
just
had the question and it just left. But it goes back to, yes, I know now. It goes back to what you're saying about knowing why you sign up for a project. Yes, that's what I was trying to say. That is a very good answer to also knowing why. Because when you know your why, moments you feel like quitting, you're like, okay, this is why I'm here.
Yes, that's like very important. That's one of the things I won't learn from advertising. So the story, you always have to have a message that you're passing. That's how you leave a mark. You always have to have a message of why you're doing this. And two of my strongest whys, actually two of my most favorite projects, which is Oga Bolaji and This Lady Called Life, because I knew why I was doing it.
And you reflect on those projects.
Yes. So when people are commenting on Twitter and everybody's going crazy about the project, I think just having as a director of any creative writing, having a strong why makes it a fantastic project. But the problem about having a strong why is you cannot even have a strong why on except you're a magician. You cannot have a strong why and all be on back-to-back projects.
No, you can't.
I don't think it's possible.
Because you have to say no to certain things.
Yeah, I don't think it's possible.
You were going to say two of your strong whys.
Two of my strong whys is Oga Bolaji. Oga Bolaji, I was trying to cope with failure at that point in my life, and the failure was from Dog Napped.
Okay.
And failure from where I was in my current state in life, and I did not like it. So what I did in Oga Bolaji was I did not want to fail. And I was living with my mom. And when you're the firstborn living with your mom, I think everybody understands what that pressure is.
Yes.
And so what I did was I created a character. That was my 40-year-old self who lived with his mom. And that's what Oga Bolaji is. Oga Bolaji is a film about a 40-year-old musician, failed retired musician that lives with his mother. And that guy was me. I just made a project talking to myself like, dude, man. And what I was trying to say was be comfortable in failing and still always never give up. That's the message I was trying to send across. And a lot of people over the world, they resonated with that message.
Yes.
I remember watching it in France, in Marseille, for a film festival with a lot of old white people. And at the end of the screening, all these people just came around me and they were just so fascinated by the story. And at that point, that was another lesson I learned that moment, that if you're really passionate about something and there's a message you want to pass across, you definitely make a great film. Has that plagued me? Because most blockbusters I make, I'm always trying to figure out why. Some of them I always have the why.
Yeah.
I think I had a very good why for Sugar Rush. And some is like...
Are you okay sharing that why?
For Sugar Rush?
Yes.
Sugar Rush was kind of the why, everybody's why. I saw it as three sisters who would do anything to leave the country.
Ah.
And to be honest, thank you. I guess this podcast just opened my eyes to something, because I didn't set out to make a comedy. So when the first screen, everybody's laughing, I'm like, oh my God, did I fail? So for me, that was very strong. It was these three sisters who wanted to leave this country and they would do anything to make sure that
average
happened.
young Nigerian right now.
That they would do anything to make sure that happened. And I stuck to that. So every time I was directing, everything I wanted the actors to do, it was always no retreat, no surrender. And I guess that's what made that what it is today. Yeah.
Your whys are very relatable. And I think it's one thing I always say about like writing Nigerian Nollywood stories, but they are very relatable because human experiences, no matter where you're from,
Yeah.
people can relate.
Yeah.
Okay, because you are getting into Don't Give Up, and I was going to ask for your TED Talk to, because right now, younger Nigerians, younger adults, I guess, in Nollywood are going through this thing of constantly complaining about dismissal, getting see finish. Oh, we don't know what you're doing. Oh, you're not, like, we've not seen your work, so we can't really, like, give you work. It's this thing of facing constant invalidation. So I feel like you should give us your TED Talk to quote unquote young Nollywood.
Something a lot of Nollywood veterans know, and they've used that to say. I'm trying to find a way to say this in a way that people don't get pissed off.
Okay.
But I think it's going to happen that the young filmmakers are going to come and take over. It's going to happen because, and I was even talking about this to a friend. I was like, dude, I think we have to evaluate when we make films because the audience, young people don't go to cinema.
And it's worse now because of Netflix. Everyone's like, oh, it will come in Netflix 3 months later.
But they go for Rema show. See the caveman show that happened. That's caveman, man. That's not even Rema's show. But people went. That's because the content resonates with them. And I'm saying until we start giving young filmmakers the opportunity to tell the stories young Nigerians want to see, we are not catering to that market. And that's a huge market. Like,
Yes.
this market made Wizkid, Burna Boy successful. So if we keep making these films and we're putting 40 plus people, which is no diss to 40 plus people, because I'm going to be 40, I'm not 40 plus, but one day I will be.
Yes.
But if we have been, we've seen something that works with the December films, and we just neglected a particular audience. So what I was going to say is, I'm noticing how the industry works because this is Nollywood and it happened to me. Who are you? What have you done? I got a lot of that. But collaboration, that's what I think. I think a lot of young people coming together and just finding out whose strengths. So for instance, I see Fatimah can write and she's a really great writer. Fatimah, let's co-produce a project together.
Let this be real. Let this be real.
So I say, Fatimah, let's co-produce a project together. This is how I make films, by the way. Fatimah, let's co-produce a project together. This is what I have in mind. Or Fatimah, do you have anything you're passionate about? And okay, take this percentage, and you look for somebody who's like a good DP. I think it's collaboration. So I look at, for example, films that I have made. Every film I have made has been collaboration. Oga Bolaji was a collaboration with Maiwa Bakari, who's like one of the top ADs in Nollywood. This AD called Life was a collaboration with Bisola Yusuf. He's one of the top production managers in Nollywood now. Dwindle was a collaboration with Dario Lighton. The truth is, if I did not collaborate with Dario, I probably would have made Dwindle next year or next 2 years. But I was so passionate about that story, and I knew that in order to make this film, I needed somebody to partner with, somebody that was good. And I look at Dario's skill set and it's good. I'm like, if we come together, I think we'll make something that'll be good. And amen, we did.
Amen.
So I think, and I see a lot of people like Amasamist and Banyi doing that. I see a lot of AK and Ant Hill doing that. So we know, I don't think a lot of people know that the future is for young filmmakers to come in. But if I was to give my TED Talk, like your question is, I would say collaborate. I don't think the era of Nollywood where one person is the producer, writer, director, it cannot sustain.
And it's still leaking till now.
Yes, a lot of people want to do that.
Yes.
A lot of people want to be the guy that is in charge of everything.
Yeah.
But, you can do that and it will be successful, but you would have done that with less time if you actually collaborated with more people. And let's be honest, you'll make a better film.
Because successful is not sustainable.
Yes. How is successful not sustainable?
Because you did it once, so something's going to work again.
And that's what makes a lot of films.
Because yes, you can do it and everybody's clapping for you. Nice, that worked. That's successful. But again, you can't do it for 3 films or 3 projects.
Yes, you can't. Like, I look at one director that I really admire, and that's Kemi Adetiba. And even all her successes, it's not just her.
Yeah.
It's a collaboration with really smart people. Wedding Party was not just her.
Yes.
King of Boys was a whole team of very smart people that had knowledge of the industry. So I think a lot of young people in film should see that and maybe just collaborate more. That's the future of new stories that are coming in. And hopefully we win the audience, and maybe this in Nollywood will not be a trend.
God, it's an
Maybe.
annoying trend.
Yes, it is.
And it's always people that don't actually watch Nollywood that diss it.
Farm. Like that, don't let's go there.
So you mentioned Kemi Dates because I'm going to ask your favorite like directors or people, again, collaboration, people you're looking forward to like working with in Nollywood, home and international.
I'm looking forward to working with a lot of people. Like I don't have as in the last 2 years it would have been Ebony Life, Inkblot. And I'm thankful that that happened. Inkblot was with Quamsman. Ebony Life was with Quamsman. Ebony Life was with Castle and Castle, Inkblot. But I'm at the point where I want to collaborate with anybody that's just passionate about telling stories. I'm open for every collaboration in Nollywood. Yes, let's
My
do
hands
it.
are up.
I'm open for I don't care about what you've done or what you've not done. I'm just open about I want to work. Like right now I'm in pre-production for 3 collaborations.
Wow.
Yes, I want to do a lot of that. I want to collaborate with people because I learned a couple of things from every collaboration. Like, I won't list it out what I learned from so and so person. And that's why I always want to collaborate because I come out of the film a better filmmaker. So yes, international is just stuff that I've been working on. I've always had the dream to make Bollywood, Nollywood films.
I love Bollywood.
Yes, had a dream to make South African, Kenyan films, make Nigerian, Tanzanian films. So
That's very
there's
interesting.
stuff that are in the
Mix.
works. Yes. The thing about the Nigerian, Tanzania is a lot of Tanzanian filmmakers has reached out to me and they're like, let's make these films. But I'm still just looking for the perfect story. A lot of these Hollywood, hopefully, by God's grace. That's everybody's dream now. So yeah. But they're in the works. And everybody, I want to work with everybody. One of the biggest dreams I had was to bring a foreign comedian to partner with a Nigerian comedian and make a Hollywood-Nollywood collaboration. That would be fun.
Name the 2 names you're thinking of because I'm trying to picture.
I was thinking a basketball Kevin Hart type comedy body cop film or something. This is just off the top of my head. Yes, so I have been thinking of that. We've been working on myself and my team. We've been working on making those collaborations happen and hopefully it clicks one day.
So how long have you been in this industry?
Yes, a big question. It's a question I don't know. I'll say professionally, 4 years. Like professionally, when I was like, Nollywood people know who Kayode was, 4. But before they knew Kayode was 9, 8.
That's a long time.
Dude, like I think I edited a whole 1 year. Like I edited Papa Ajasco fam. Like I edited Papa Ajasco that I left working for Wale Adenuga Productions and 2 years later I'll be on TV and I'll look like I edited that stuff.
Do a lot of people know you worked on Papa Jasco?
A lot of people don't know.
Was that your first project in Nollywood?
Gig in Nollywood, I would say official. Like it felt like okay, I was doing something that people could see. Yes, and I think before that they shot like 12 short films that were trash. There was one I made. I shot it on ISO 6400. What that means is the picture was grainy for the whole short film. And I was like, oh, I just spent 150K just to learn what ISO is.
An expensive lesson.
Yes. So, yeah. So, officially, when people get to know me, people got to know who I was, I'll say 4.
Okay. In those 4 years, I know this question, I know it's always a very generalized question, but what have been your validating moments that, you know what, I'm on the right track?
I guess Oga Bolaji was it? Because I knew what I wanted to do with Oga Bolaji. I was so 100% convinced. And at the time, I was working with a crew who everything I did was wrong because they had been on set a lot for a while. And this is like this guy that just made this flop dog nap that is on set. I would argue with my team on every single decision I was going to make. I knew what I was doing. I knew what I was going for. And when I did it, and film festivals were just accepting it left and right, I was like, okay.
Okay, I'm on the right track.
Okay, I think I know what I'm doing. I will say that. And recently, this film that just came out on Netflix, This Lady Called Life.
Yes.
And just the reception, like my DMs from people from Jamaica, Barbados, everybody crying. I guess at that, I felt like, okay, I think I know what I'm doing. I just have to figure out the type of stories I want to keep telling. And yeah. But as filmmakers now, I don't know if it's a creative thing.
What's that?
There's just this validation that you're looking for. It's not healthy. But you're looking for this like general validation from your work and you are never, it's like drugs. You're never really satisfied.
Yes.
So I'm in a phase right now, this is me just being totally honest. I'm in a phase right now where I need to just enjoy filmmaking because I think for like 2019 to 2022, I was like the hot guy now. Everybody's mentioning my name. So I did get high on that for a while. And I just wanted to make films. But the question was, why are you making these films, Kayode?
Yeah, you start losing your why.
Yes. So I'm on the phase where the most important part is you're doing what you love and why you're doing it. It's not about the noise. So that's who I am. I'm in my Zen moment right now. Don't mind me.
It's good. It's valid. So you mentioned living with your mom when you made Ogabalaji. How does she feel about the whole creative life?
She was never a fan of it. Not until recently. And that recently was when I was on Jara. I think I cried safe. So I left Jara and Jara was showing and I just had Jara the time we show on TV and she was like, oh wow, you did really great. I'm proud of you. So this is dude, like I think it's here. It was on my face, but she was never really in support of it because when you say films, especially to people, to my mom is like a proper Yoruba woman, and they're like they think Baba Suwe and all that stuff, which is great by the way, no diss to anybody.
Yeah, I get it.
And they're scared for you. So yeah, finally she's happy.
She watches your stuff?
If I do you know how hard it is to take my mom? I actually even fought with my mom for her to go and watch Sugar Rush. I'm like, I watch this film now. But she said something. My mom is a hard guy. I don't mind that single mother. She raised me. So when she watched it, she was like, when my name came up, she looked at everybody that was clapping in the cinema. And she was like, that's my son.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
so I guess, she's happy.
Okay. I think we've come to an end, but like my last question is, how are you feeling about the future?
Man, the future is great. A whole lot of young filmmakers now. Akemi, Cinema Samis, Finn Gambo, a whole lot of young writers like Fatimah. And with Netflix acquiring Nollywood originals, and you look at this, the streaming industry outside the country, definitely Disney is coming, Hulu is coming, HBO Max is coming, Amazon is coming. There is a market for Nigerian films, which is what we always wanted. The future is great. Like, Hollywood is going to come very soon.
Yeah.
We have Nigerians, Chung Boyega, Chiwetel Ejiofor, who love Nigerian films, and that they're going to come to collaborate very soon. So the future is great. Everybody's working. Now you can see people that work in Nollywood that are smiling. Before, when you see people working in Nollywood, their face is always hard.
You don't even used to say you work in Nollywood. Just be like, I write. So don't ask for that questions.
Well, now you can say that, like, I write scripts.
Yes.
And like, which film? And you mention the shows, and they're like, wow.
Yes.
So it's such a good time. I know it's a lot of work, but we have to just continue working hard to win the Nigerian audience. Because to be honest, we are doing well. People are successful, but we've not even scratched the surface. Like Bollywood. Imagine if you could make a Nigerian film that, we have 200 million Nigerians, right?
Yeah.
If you can make a Nigerian film that at least 20 million Nigerians will watch.
God.
Because the highest grossing film I'm going to get to just has like 400,000 people saw it. 400,000 people.
Out of 200 million.
Yes, 400,000 people. The reason why Bollywood is so successful is because the people love their films.
Cinema is their culture.
Yeah, so until we can win the audience, my God, the possibilities. Matter of fact, it's not even going to be Hollywood. It will be Nollywood. Like, people over the world will come. So it's a gradual process to do that, and hopefully one day we do it.
We'll get there.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for
Thank
coming
you.
on the show. Thank you. This was nice.
It was, actually. I did not expect it to be this good. Thank you.
Thanks for the honesty.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.